everybody, thanks for tuning in again. Today what I'm going to show you is a release technique for your upper traps and a few muscles that run up and down your neck here. So with our day-to-day doings, spending a lot of time at a desk, hours hunched over our phones, and then not to mention all the time we spend in the gym lifting a bunch of heavy stuff, we tend to keep a lot of tension right on the upper parts of our traps and in our necks. I'm sure everybody can relate, right? So this is a really great trick to kind of loosen some things up here. It's one of my favorites. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a squat bar here. Usually I have a little bit of weight, but if you don't, you can just kind of hold the bar down. I like to have about maybe 45 on each side, so when I stand up I got something really grinding in there. But to ease yourself in, maybe use a little bit less weight or just pulling down on the bar. And what I'm going to do is stand under here, and then I'm going to stand into the bar. I'm going to pull down on the bar if I don't have the weight, and I'm just going to pin a spot down. I'm going to hit a nice trigger point where it feels like a little bit of a tickle punch or a laugh cry sensation, right? A good kind of pain. You'll learn to love it after a while. Pin a spot down, stand into that with about as much force as I can tolerate, and slowly lift your arms. So I'm pinning down a tight muscle and I'm moving it through a range of motion there. So I'm going to find a spot. I'm going to do probably a good half dozen movements like that. I'm going to maybe move it over an inch or so, find another spot on that similar muscle group. Do the same thing, spending a good 30 seconds or so, making sure that I'm breathing really regularly, nice, deep, slow, controlled breaths, so you're triggering your body to kind of release as opposed to hunching up and tensing up and keeping that tension in there, right? Another thing I'll do is kind of bend forward a little bit, so instead of right on top of the trap, I'm getting a little bit towards the back. And again, just kind of doing the same thing. You can kind of explore that whole area there. Start off, again, a little bit easier on you. Don't add too much weight. This can be a little bit painful. You got to be a little masochistic to really appreciate this kind of stuff. But afterwards, maybe spending a good minute and a half working on one side, just to kind of illustrate the effect before you move on to your second side. Just do a quick arm raise out to the side. You're going to feel that one shoulder you're working on is so much looser. It feels like you got a little bit of a loop job there. It's a really great sensation. After I've worked that one side, usually what I do, because things are a little bit looser and a little bit more susceptible to stretch, I'm going to try to get in there. What I do to stretch that kind of area is I'm taking my hand, I'm putting the back of my hand against my opposite glute. Sometimes I'll even hold on to my pants just to keep that shoulder pinned down. And then I'm just going to slowly move my head down. Try not to let my shoulder follow, right? I want to keep my shoulder neutral, just the movement comes from my head and my neck, right? You find a nice stretch there. You can even take your other hand, guide your head over, just nice and gently, right? These are some pretty small structures that we're working with, so we don't want to tug on them too hard. In addition, with the stretch along, just going to the side, you can kind of move your head down, turn your head away, look up and opposite like that, just to get some of those muscles in your neck, get a nice stretch on there. So then obviously you're going to repeat that with the other side, and that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in.